All right, this is the mobility and activation session. Now, this kind of session can be used as part of a warm-up routine to help you get activated, to bring blood flow, to improve range of motion. It can also be used as an active recovery day session. So just to avoid getting lethargic, just to try and stay nice and, sort of lightly active so that you're not getting stiff, and also just to focus. So you can use it in either and all of the above. You can also pretty much do it before any sport, whether you were going for a run, whether you are going out for a paddle, even just a gym session. So it's something I used to do 3, 4, 5 times a week, whether it was before gym sessions or out on the beach. I would even do it before a paddle. And it was my go-to sort of on race day if I was overseas somewhere in, a couple of hours before when you're still in the hotel room. It's just a really great way to start getting the body ready, ready for performance. So I'm going to take you through probably 9 or 10 sort of exercises or drills, and basically you could make the session as long or short as you wanted. You could do all of the exercises, you could limit it to a few, and then obviously it's going to be quicker if you're just doing 1 or 2 sets of things, maybe 10 reps. But if you wanted to make it into a longer session, you could do 3 sets of everything and you could do 10 or 15 reps. So really there is a lot of variability in how long you want this to take and how much you want to get out of it. But I'm going to take you through sort of just 2 or 3 examples on each side just to make sure you have a clear picture of what it looks like. All right, so you are going to need a nice long TheraBand. And if you have it, you would want a really short one as well for when we're going to do glute activation. Today I'm going to use just a simple bungee cord to go around my legs, but there's plenty options out there for different TheraBands. So we're going to start on the floor. So first up, we're going to start with getting some mobility and some dynamic stretching through hamstrings, and then a bit into your hip flexor as well, glutes, lower back, and you'll see as we go along. Okay, so the first one leg flat on the floor, other leg is straight up to the roof. You want to have a slight flex in the knee, a slight bend, so it's not hyperextended, it's just slightly bent. And what you're going to do is just gently lower it down to the floor, and then put it all the way up, keep that slight bend, and go as far as you can to get that really nice stretch in the hamstring. Okay, we're not looking to feel it in the calf at the moment, we're looking to feel it in the hamstring. So you're going to hold up here for sort of 2 or 3 breaths. I tend to inhale down, and then exhale up again, and pull a little bit more. And again, make sure you still got that flex in the knee, so you're stretching into the belly of the hammy. If you keep the leg straight, it's going to go into the calf, and that's fine. If you want to do some calf pumps, that's absolutely great. Go through that ankle range of motion as well, but for this one we're looking at hamstring. So I would say 10 of these. Exhale up, nice little stretch at the top, hold for 2 or 3 seconds, 1, 2, 3, inhale back down, and continue for 10. After that, I would then recommend straightening the leg a bit, so loosen up your band, and then just do those ankle pumps. Point, flex, point, flex. Not only will you get nice blood flow through your ankles, but obviously you're also going to start stretching nicely into your calves. Okay, so that would be the first one on this side. I would stay with the same leg. You would then put your outside arm onto the floor, and my inside hand has the leg. So my right leg is up, my left hand has the band. My apologies. From here, we are going to roll over. So I'm going away to let my leg hang all the way down on the other side, which is obviously stretching really nicely into my bum, even a little bit into my lower back. Same idea, let it stretch there for a few seconds, bring it back up, and let your arm help with the band. Like, your leg doesn't have to be doing the work. And then you're going to go the other way. So now you're going to switch hands, and you're going to go down to the floor as far as you can go. There's no pressure. Excuse those beautiful feet. And you're going to let it stretch there. So now you're getting more into your hamstrings, more into your adductors, and sort of your groin and your inner thigh there. And then you're going to come back up. Great. And you're going to go the other way again. So same idea, holding for 2 or 3 seconds on each side. Really feel that stretch, enjoy it. Come back up to the middle and change over. And even with this one, you can do 5 each way, you can do 10 each way, whatever suits you. Okay. And then you would change legs. Okay, so I'm not going to go through it all on the other side, but obviously just same idea. Leg down, down to the floor, nice bent knee, and up. All right, so that would be your first one. From there, you're going to put your band down. You're going to put your hands by your sides. Feet are quite close to my bum, so I can pretty much touch my heels with my fingers. and my feet are about as wide apart as, I would almost say, your shoulders. So like hip, slightly wider than hip height, than hip width. Okay, from there, I'm going to suck in my belly button, I'm going to squeeze my glutes, and I'm going to lift my hips up to the roof. Okay, a nice hold there. And then I'm going to unravel, so I'm going to round my back on the way down and let it touch. Press through the heels, squeeze the glutes, lift, unravel on the way down. Press through the heels, squeeze the glutes, lift, unravel on the way down. Okay, so you're looking to get a little bit of mobility through the hips here and through the lower back, and then you're going to hold at the top, which is obviously working and activating the glutes, which is such a big driver in paddling, but also in running in many sports. Okay, once you are up here, once you've done 10 or 15 reps of up and down, I want you to squeeze the knees together, squeeze, 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 and you're going to do that for 15 to 20 reps until you really feel those glutes burning nicely, and then round that back again. So I'm rounding from the top, round, 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 round. My coccyx and my bum touches last. Okay, so really nice little glutes activating and getting stimulated there. If you want to, you can bring your feet a little bit closer. You can lift your hips up again. Now you're trying to keep your thighs parallel on this one, and I'm going to extend one leg, point. See, I'm not going up to the sky. I'm keeping my thighs parallel, and then I'm going to change side. Keeping my thighs parallel, change side. Okay, it's just a marching action. And what you're looking to do then is just keep nice and stable in your hips. You don't want them dropping from side to side. You want them to stay nice and stable. And you really are working your glutes and your hamstrings here and your quads, just waking things up and activating. So I would do 10 on each leg, just marching there. Okay, and then roll down. All right, so even there already, you'll start to feel things are warming up. So I would then just drop both knees to the side and the other way, and just let everything kind of hang out and loosen up. Okay, so I'm just keeping both my knees, both my ankles together, keeping both my hands on the floor, both my shoulders on the floor. And I'm just rolling from side to side. And again, you can go anywhere from 5 to 10 each side. And you'll probably immediately feel one side is tighter than the other. Okay, so from there, we're going to one of my favorite stretches. So important for paddlers, so important for anybody sitting in a desk, but really all humans, because we're all a bit prone to kind of being like this. So I'm going to put my left foot forward, and we're going to be looking to stretch in the hip flexor here. So I'll be stretching my right hip flexor with my left hip forward. So it's quite a wide stance, as you can see. My front foot is really far forward, my knee is well behind it. Okay, from there, I'm going to let my hips go forward. Okay, my knee is still staying behind my toe, but my knee is going forward and my hips are going forward. So I'm already feeling a stretch down the right side of my body here. Okay, so now with your right leg stretching and feeling the stretch, your right hand is going to reach up to the sky, to the roof. So you're really trying to extend through here, get as much length as you can, and then staying upright, you're going to lean over. Okay, so I'm curling towards the camera now, and that is going to cause this beautiful stretch through the ribs, through the hip flexors. So I'm going to turn to show you that this way. So I'm still on left leg forward. All right, left leg forward. So I'm feeling it in my right leg. I'm going to stretch up to the ceiling, and then, as I said, you're going to bend this way. Okay, so you're feeling it really from your rib cage all the way through, down through your hip, even into your quad. Okay, make sure you do that stretch on a nice thick foam mat, because it can get quite sore on the knee. Okay, and then obviously the other side would be the exact opposite. So nice and far forward, stretch through, stretch up to the roof, and lean over. It's a really great stretch, highly recommended. Hold it for a couple of seconds, let it release, and go again. Okay, so you can hold it for 3, 4, 5 seconds, release it, move into it again. Now after that one, because you are already in this position, leave that front forward, place both hands next to the front foot, okay, and then from there I'm actually going to push my hips backwards. I'm going to keep my hands planted, and I'm going to push my hips back, and that's immediately going to stretch nicely through this hamstring again, and again in the belly of the hamstring. Hold it there a couple of seconds, release it forward. Hold it there again, release it forward, and you'll feel that really great stretch and activation through here. Okay, so you would be doing, if your left leg was forward the first time, you would be doing right hamstring, right hip flexor and left hamstring, and then obviously you would switch your legs around and you would do the other side. Okay, from there it's quite nice and easy to move into some thoracic mobility and stretching. So we're going to do that thread the needle So you're in an all fours kneeling position, so knees are under my hips, hands are under my shoulders. And from here, what you want to do, I'll go towards you first, it'll probably give a better graphic. So you're going to slide your right hand underneath you, so the back of my hand is to the floor. I'm going to put it on the floor, so I'm planting it, pushing it, like gluing it into the floor, and then leaning down and pulling away from that hand. Okay, so this is how it would look from the front. So right hand comes under, place it on the floor, really push it into the floor so it's planted and glued, and then I lean down towards the floor and I pull away. So this hand is not moving, my body is trying to pull away, and that is going to cause that posterior capsule stretch and even into your thoracics as well. Okay, and then you would obviously just do it on the other side, push down and pull away, and it's a great stretch. Now what you can also do in the same position to get a bit more thoracic mobility, and there's several ways to do it, you can kind of choose, but one that I quite like is to place your hand on your ear and then almost take elbow to wrist and then rotate open. Elbow to wrist, rotate open. Okay, so from the side, we've got elbow to wrist and then trying to rotate that open. Elbow to wrist, rotate open. Okay, so those are some really nice ones to get into posterior capsule, so behind your shoulder, obviously where we are putting a lot of load in our paddle stroke, and then obviously just to get that thoracic rotation, just to help with rotation in the boat as well. Alright, from here, because you are in this all fours position, a really nice little activation for core and glutes, and just to wake up like your slings, is your typical bird dog exercise. So I like to do it all on one side in one go, so not alternating sides. So you would do 10 reps, and you would start by touching your hand to your knee and then extending leg and arm. Touching hand to knee, so you want to do a cruncher, you want to suck in your belly button and activate those abs, and then you want to stretch out and squeeze your glute. Suck in the belly button, stretch out and squeeze the glute, and I would do 10 reps there, and then I would change over and do 10 on the other side. Okay, so from here we are going to do some scapular stabilizer exercises and activation. Now those are all the small muscles that are here, basically lining your scapula. So these were your scapula, they're all the small muscles around them and the ones that are between your spine and your scapula, and that's what we want to try and wake up, because as paddlers we don't realize how important that shoulder stability is in your technique, in avoiding injury, and just also being more powerful and giving you more strength. Okay, so you want to try and work into those. So we'll just do 1 or 2 sets here. You're going to lie on your tummy. It would be ideal if you had a towel and you just sort of folded it up and you rested your head on the towel. Otherwise you can just hang your head low. Place your hands with your palms facing down next to your sides. From here, I want you to, so your shoulders to be nice and relaxed, I want you to pull your shoulders back and down. So you're trying to get a really long neck. Okay, so they're low. Once you're in that position, I want you to suck in your belly button. So you are lifting up your belly button, okay, so it's off the floor. Long neck, lifted belly button, and then you're going to squeeze those shoulders to the scapula. Squeeze those shoulders to the scapula. Squeeze. And your hands will follow. Now this is not a fast-paced little flutter. This is a very controlled squeeze, slowly down. So you resist gravity on the way down. Squeeze, slowly down. And you're keeping those glutes tight the whole time. Okay. And you're going to do about 20 reps there. Once you've done that, you can bend at the elbow. Okay, so I'm in this sort of position. And from here, I want you just to keep your hands off the floor. Keep the tummy tight, keep the glutes tight. Okay, so my hands are floating. I'm keeping my shoulders low, my neck is long. And I'm going to slide my hands up and squeeze them back down. Slide my hands up and squeeze them back down. So I'm not touching the floor, but I am trying to focus on keeping my neck long and holding my shoulder blades down even though I'm extending forward. Okay, now it goes without saying that if you are someone who has a sore shoulder or you're battling with some sort of injury, don't throw yourselves into these exercises. Like this is, a recommendation under the assumption that everything is healthy and moving nicely. So if something starts to niggle or doesn't feel great, don't just do it for the sake of doing it. Stop doing it, find an alternative, ask somebody for some assistance or an alternative. Okay. All right, from there, we are going to go to glute walks, which I love this exercise. So like I say,
You can use any nice TheraBand. I'm just using a bungee cord because my TheraBand is not available at the moment. But you just want a nice piece of elasticated TheraBand around your knees to cause that resistance to keep them closed so that you can try and keep them open. Okay, so from here, you want to get into your nice squat position, which is sort of there. So you see knees are behind, toes, hips are back. And I tend to keep my hands in front, otherwise you can put them on your hips. And what you're looking to do is do small little walks without standing up. So you're staying in that low squat position. Imagine there was a ceiling over you. Okay, you can't stand up. And you're going to go back and forth. So from the front, that's what this looks like. I'm in that low position, pushing out with this leg, push and join, push and join. If you're too high, it's going to be too easy. So you really want to stay nice and low. And then also don't be a hero with your band. You don't want to go so tight that you can't move your legs. The band it's kind of like a feedback mechanism. Yes, it's providing resistance, but it's also making your brain think, okay, there's something to push against. So you don't have to be a hero with the tightest band. You can use any band. Once you get the hang of it and you really are feeling it in your glutes, by all means, upgrade yourself, to a tighter band if you want to. Okay. From there, I always recommend doing a nice set of full squats. You can keep the band on for the full squats if you want, or you can take it off, but you really are just looking to get into some nice squats. Okay, so everything's getting loose, fired up. You now want to get it all working together. So notice again, knees are behind toes, bum is really sitting back, activating through glutes. So everything's working posterior chain. Okay, which, believe it or not, when you're paddling, that is what you're looking for. You're looking to drive off your footboard. Okay, so if I was holding my paddle here, here and here, and I put put it at the catch, and you're actually driving through that hip. Okay, so it is quite a similar motion. Another really nice one for a little bit of activation, brain gym balance, is single leg floor touch. So if you were standing on the one leg, I'm standing on my left. What I'm looking to do is stay nice and long, activate my core, and then I'm just going to swivel on this leg down towards the floor and come back up. Okay, and once again, I'd recommend staying on the same leg all the way down to the floor and back up. And I would say 10 on each leg. Obviously turn around and go on the other leg. Okay, so that is our set. There's obviously more we can add to it, but it's pretty thorough just like that. I do also have a nice set specifically for mobility through the shoulders and the lats, and we can get onto that next. But certainly for today, you'll find that's a really good one. And like I say, as many reps as you want, as many sets as you want, depending on the sort of workload you want to come out of it. Otherwise, you can keep it short and sweet, just as a nice activation on the beach or before any session. Enjoy.